On a warm July evening in 2023, a 25-year-old woman named Carlee Russell made a frantic phone call to 911. She had spotted a toddler walking alone on the side of a busy interstate in Hoover, in Alabama, just past mile marker 11. It was the kind of call that sends shivers through a dispatcher's spine. A child alone on a highway? Carlee pulled over, stayed on the line for a few moments, then hung up. Moments later, she also called a family member, and then silence. When police arrived just minutes later, they found her car still running, the driver's door open, her belongings inside, but Carlee was gone, vanished. The story spread like wildfire. Here was a young woman, educated, loved, recently working in healthcare, who had simply disappeared while trying to help a child. It struck a nerve. Within hours, social media exploded. News outlets ran live updates, hashtags began trending, volunteers gathered, flyers went up. The public grieved for her, prayed for her, feared the worst. For 2 days, there was no sign of her. No surveillance footage, no toddler, just a car on the side of a highway and a community holding its breath. And then, 49 hours later, Carlee Russell walked back into her parents' home, alive, unharmed, and with a story that made even more headlines. She told police that after stopping to check on the toddler, she was abducted by a man who emerged from the trees. He allegedly forced her into a car, took her to a house, made her undress, and at one point blindfolded her. She said there was a woman involved too. She claimed she escaped after being held captive and fled through the woods until she made it back home. The public was stunned and relieved. Here was a missing woman, returned alive, seemingly confirming everyone's worst fears. But the details didn't quite add up. As investigators began digging deeper, inconsistencies emerged. There was no evidence of a toddler on the highway, no witnesses, no security camera footage showing a child or a suspicious vehicle. Then came the internet search history. Police revealed that before her disappearance, Carlee had searched, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" "How to take money from a cash register without getting caught?" "One-way bus tickets from Birmingham to Nashville?" And perhaps most chillingly, the movie Taken. In a press conference, the Hoover Police Department stated they had found no evidence of a kidnapping, and what began as a terrifying mystery slowly began to unravel into something else, something far more complicated. The backlash was swift. Some people felt misled. Others were angry, especially families of real missing persons who never get the same kind of media attention. But many were also deeply conflicted. Because what if Carlee had been in crisis? What if this wasn't a hoax, but a cry for help? Mental health professionals weighed in. So did legal experts. But what remained was a swirling mix of truth, trauma, and public judgment. Carlee eventually admitted, through her attorney, that she had not been kidnapped, that she had acted alone, there was no toddler on the highway, no abduction, no masked captors, just her, and a decision that rippled across the nation. She was later charged with 2 misdemeanor offences: false reporting to law enforcement and falsely reporting an incident, and ordered to pay nearly $18,000 in restitution for the massive search effort. But beyond the legal consequences, the case forced uncomfortable conversations. Why did the world respond so quickly to Carlee's story? Was it because she was young, articulate, and photogenic? Because the narrative of a woman trying to save a child was so compelling? Or perhaps deep down people wanted to believe in heroes, even when they were in danger. And then what happens when those heroes fall short? Carlee Russell's story isn't just about a disappearance. It's about a moment, a flashpoint where fear, compassion and confusion collided in real time. It showed us how quickly the public will rally and how quickly it will turn. But more than anything, it reminds us that truth in these stories isn't always clear-cut. People are messy, motives are complex, and sometimes what looks like a crime might actually be a crisis. Carlee's future remains uncertain. She's faced public shame, legal action, and intense scrutiny. But behind all the headlines, there's still a young woman, and perhaps a private pain the world may never fully understand.